Yeah. German nationals are over and it was a freaking blast, bro. The weekend was full, was pretty hard. A lot of things happened, so let's get into it. Last weekend we had nationals in Cologne, Germany, the German powerlifting nationals, and we had two athletes of our team competing. Sven was competing for the first time in the 105s because he went up a weight class, and Martina was competing in the 69s. Last year we managed to win third place in the 69s, and this year the level was pretty high. So most of the meet went pretty well. I'm not even sure if you want to hear about this stuff, but hopefully for the 2-3 people that are interested, just gonna give like a recap of the attempts, of what happened, how it went, and maybe give you a little bit more insights on what we did on strategy. So Martina was a bit heavy in prep and she had to lose 5 kilos up until the last week. And we went into the meet and we still weren't sure if she was gonna make weight or not. Luckily she did. We managed her body weight a little bit intensively, and even up to the last moment they had like a scale there that you could weigh yourself before the weigh-in, and the scale was wrong and it showed more than she was actually weighed. So she was kind of panicking before the meet, and we made it through the weigh-ins and then we headed down to the warm-up. So Martina finally weighed in at 68.6, which is pretty good. The competition overall, the venue was insane. It was one of the best meets I have ever seen, like organization-wise, setup-wise. Everything was on point. No delays, the jury was on point, the venue was beautiful, the lighting was perfect, the live stream was very good, the warm-up area was pretty clean, pretty big, a lot of space for everyone. So German Powerlifting Federation is doing great work for powerlifting. They are leveling up every year, and I'm happy to see that they have people that are willing to help and improve the sport we love. So the plan for Martina, we knew that it would be difficult to get a podium finish this time around. So we tried to stay close to the third place podium because first and second were out of reach. The ladies there were really strong. In the first place we had Melanie V. She's competing at international meets and worlds for Germany. She's a very strong lady. And then we had Miss Zilbertsan. She competes mostly equipped, but she's really strong in row 2. She also competed at World Games. She was a very strong competitor, so these two were out of reach, and our strategy going into the meet was gonna be to get up close to third, fourth place, and maybe try to pull for a podium. So we started off with 165. Martina doesn't like to do very big jumps in competitions. I wanted to initially start with 160, 162.5, but she wanted 165. That's no problem. We started with that. And she got her opener. Was pretty easy, but I don't know, her second with 172, she fell forward. She had a little bit of issues with her stiff sleeves. She had new ones and old ones, and she used the new ones. And when they're throwing her off position out of the bottom, 172 came up. I decided to make a safe call and put 175. On the 175, she misgrooved very hard, but she managed to save it. And she graded the rep to lockout, 343 on squats. All of her attempts from opener to the third attempt were a new German record for Masters 1 in the 69. And with a very successful squat, we were very close to Sonia. We finished the same weight, and we knew that every kilo would make a difference for podium. And Sofia finished with a Monster 187.5 kilo squat. She was plus 12.5 kilos. And Sonia was plus 0. And we knew that Sonia pressed around the same as Martina, but she had a little bit more weight on deadlifts, about 10 kilos. And Sofia, we knew that she was going to press more, but she was doing less on deadlifts. So our strategy with Martina was to get as big of a subtotal as possible, possibly place a little bit higher than the other ladies, so that we could stay close and have to pull less for thirds, for deadlifts, for the podium. So then we moved on to bench. Martina put up a 95 opener, which would be a national record again. All her attempts on midday were national records in the Masters 169 kilo class. And for some reason it got red lighted. I don't know why. I still don't understand. I have checked the live stream. I'd say maybe elbow depth. I don't know. I think her butt didn't lift off the bench, so doesn't matter. Everything was pretty light for her. I knew she had around 107, maybe 110 in the tank. So I moved on normally to 100 kilos like we had planned. I wanted to jump to 102, but because she missed her opener, we put on 100. And I had zero doubt that she was going to get it. So we go take our second, 100 kilos, easy as f. And then I wanted to pick a safe attempt for her third so that we can collect a few kilos more. So because I knew that every kilo would play a role in the end. So we put on 105. I was sure she was going to get it. She got it in prep. She had no problems pressing that. She gets her third, 646. And at that point we had Sonia. I was expecting her to press around 105. She pressed 100. Maybe she wasn't feeling well. And Sofia put up a monster 112 kilo bench press, which was also a German record. So at this point, she was 12.5 plus 7 kilos above us. And we were plus 5 kilos on Sonia. Going into deadlifts, we knew that we had an advantage on Sofia, but for Sonia, we had to get as close as possible to have a chance for a medal. We warm up for deadlifts, we go out 180, no problem. Sofia was opening at 170, so we were plus 10 kilos on that. And Sonia was opening at 195, and I knew I was expecting about a 210 kilo third based on her attempt selection in previous meets. So the strategy here was that we were betting on 2 fails on third attempts. Usually 1 fail is if you're lucky enough, but 2 fails is almost impossible. It was a long shot, so we got out. We did 180, 190. 190 was a little bit heavy. It wasn't Martina's best 190, but at that point I thought, okay, if we pull 202.5 and both of the ladies miss, then we will hit the podium. So I loaded up 2025 for her third. And then luckily for us, Sofia went first because she had less weight than us. She went for an 187.5, but she got that. So at that point, I decided it's time to switch to a safe opener and get as big of a total as possible. And I dropped it to 197.5. Martina goes out. She pulls it. It was a grinder. It was exactly on the dot what she had in the tank for the day. And at that point, she locked it out. New national record on the deadlift, on the total, and a personal record, and also a record in Bayern in the open for the deadlift. So it was a pretty significant pull, even though her best is 200 in competition, but it was a single lift. For this one, we put 197 after a full meet, so I'm very happy about that attempt. I knew Martina probably would have a little bit more in the tank if she didn't get as tired from the misgroove on the squats, but I wanted to play it safe. 200 would be a bit of a stretch, so I put 197, safe attempt. It was exactly on the dot what she could do on the day, and I'm very happy about that attempt selection. So up until now, we had perfect attempt selection on all lifts, on all attempts, apart from the first opener, which I don't know what happened still, but doesn't matter. We moved on and we got everything that we needed. Martina finished in 5th place as a Masters athlete in the open with 10 kilos of distance from the podium, which is not a lot. If she had like 180 kilos in the tank and 110 on bench, she probably could have pushed for podium, but the ladies were very strong and they pushed us hard. At that point, it wasn't worth risking anymore, so we dropped it and we got a very good day out of Martina. And then I ran back to the warm-ups and Sven was already in the weigh-ins. I had no break on that day. It was like I was there from 11 until 9 p.m. It was a very long day with no breaks. And I was on low carb day on my diet and I was suffering, bro. I was about to die. But anyway, Sven came in. We started warming up. For Sven, we had other plans. For Sven, we wanted to go for a good day, hit new PRs. It was his first 105 nationals. We didn't really want to push anything, like for no reason, because he had no chance for a podium this time. And we went in and got a 275 kilo squat. Then we went to a 295, which was a plus 0.245 kilo PR. And then he looked strong, so we went for a 305 kilo squat. He hit that in training, but it was his first official 300 plus kilo in competition. It was a 12.5 kilo squat PR in comp, and it was a record, regional record in the state. I'm not sure if you can call it state in English in Germany that we are living. So pretty good. The meet started off great. Sven got his confidence up. Then we moved on to bench. Sven had a little bit of issues on bench in the prep. He had some elbow pains and stuff, so we went in with an easy 150. He got it up. I didn't like it. It was a little bit slow, so I wanted to go for 160, but I put on 157 so that we played safe. It was a little bit sticky, and I decided that we should go for a PB match. I didn't want to risk a PR attempt and lose 7 kilos. So we went with 162.5. He goes out and takes his attempts, he gets it. So right now we are at plus 12.5 kilos on his subtotal. So Sven goes out, gets his opener, 275. Was really fast. It could be a bit faster. It's a little bit slower than his usual. He originally wanted to do 295. I wanted to do 297 so he could get a plus 2.5 kilo PR on his total. And then we could do anything we wanted on his cert. He goes out with 297.5. He pulls it, and at lockout, he drops it, which I was pretty surprised, to be honest, because the rep looked very easy. He had no grind in it, but Sven has had some grip issues in the past. Here and there, he randomly drops the bar. I think it's not 100% because of grip strength. It's also a little bit of technique and a little bit of issue that he has with his neck. And sometimes when the bar has a little bit more spin in it, it makes the things worse. And I think this ATX bar wasn't the best for Sven for deadlifts. So he dropped his second, and there was no other option than to repeat it. He rechucked his hands. He went out and took it. It was better. He pulls it. It was better. But at the last millisecond, his grip opened up and he got the down, but it was too late. And sadly, he got 3 red lights. Couldn't be contested. So every attempt of the meet up to Sven's second deadlift was perfect. And then his grip decided to give out. Sadly for us, sadly for him. And he didn't get the total PR. He didn't get his second and third deadlift in lats, sadly. Sometimes things happen that you don't expect. And nevertheless, I found his meet very successful, even though we had the grip issues. His peak was good. He was strong on the day. Just a little bit of bad luck on his second and third deadlift. But overall, I'm happy with his performance. He had no chance for podiums or anything like that. We went in and we were going to attempt a few PRs, get his total up. And we tried to do that. And we were very close. Even though with only his opener, we got at 742.5 kilo total, which is pretty good. And this concluded our meet. I was there for like almost 12 hours. It was a pretty tough day. I'm very happy with the performance of our athletes. Martina delivered as I was expecting. I'm not expecting anything less of her. She's a machine and she's a fighter when it comes to grinding reps out. And for Sven, I'm very, very happy for his performance, even though I know he was a little bit sad about his deadlift, but that squat was very comfortable, and I think he also had around 310 in the tank. He was top 4 on the squat in Germany. And he put in a lot of work. The squat periodization worked very well for him, and he did great progress. He didn't have the best circumstances in the prep. There were a lot of external factors that negatively influenced the prep. He also had lost a lot of weight, and he managed to regain some of it back. But very successful day for Sven and Martina. I'm very happy about our athletes. They're very hard workers, and they always bring their best self on the platform. And they fight up to the last moment. So that was German Nationals this year. No medals this time, but I'm very happy about the performance of our athletes. Next year, we will be bringing a bigger team and increasing our participation there. Those were a few insights from the meet and a little bit behind the scenes. Sadly, I don't have any behind the scenes footage. We weren't allowed to film, and I couldn't film vlogs on that day. Guys, I'm sorry, because it was a pretty tough day. I wanted to be focused on attempt selection and warm-ups and everything, and I didn't want to get distracted. And if I do everything alone when I'm there, when I don't have my cameraman, Jos. And if I do everything alone when I'm there, when I don't have my cameraman, Jos. He couldn't make it, sadly. When I'm alone and I have to do everything, I can't focus on all things, so I decided not to sacrifice the performance for the vlog. That was German Nationals. I hope you found this video interesting for the few people that are watching. And if you want to know how to improve your competition strategy, you can check out this video right here. If you need help with your programming, you can join our team with the link right here in the description. And I'll see you next week.